Hello, my name is Mr. Smith, and I'm the director at DCIT, and I'm really excited that all of you have chosen to be a part of DCIT this year. I hope that you are successful here and that you enjoy your class and that you will want to stick around and be a completer. I want to go over a few basic things for you, and then we'll talk about some important topics. Ms. Burgess, the assistant director, will join us in a little while, and Ms. Quinetta Butterball will also join us to talk about the internship program that many of our students have been a part of over the last couple of years. I want to start with some basics. Most of you are here for half of your day, whether that is the morning or the afternoon. The morning session here at DCIT starts at 8:55 a.m. and runs until 11:34, which you know by now. The afternoon session begins at 12:26 p.m. and it runs until 3:05. Typically, students who are here for single block classes have a break between those two classes, and this year, because of COVID reasons and precautions, we have eliminated that break, so students who are in single block classes will go directly from their first period to second period class, or directly from their third period to fourth period class without a break. Teachers are allowing students to go to the restroom during class, but in order to avoid congregating in the hallways, we are not having a lengthy break during the morning or during the afternoon. You will receive some information soon about the school store. In the past, it has been located in Ms. Smith's classroom, but this year, to avoid congregating in the hallways, the school store will come to you. During some point of the morning or afternoon, the cart will come down to your classroom and you'll have an opportunity to purchase a drink or a snack in a safe manner. I want to talk a little about attendance. And Ms. Burgess will talk more about that, but it is important that you are here. The reason that we chose to do all of our classes face-to-face this year is because it is so important that you receive face-to-face hands-on instruction in so many of the classes. So Ms. Burgess will have some information about attendance recovery, which is available, but there is a cost, and no transportation is provided, so it is not the most convenient thing to do. So my advice to you would be to come to school whenever you can. Now, that being said, if you are not feeling well, if you have any symptoms of COVID or the flu, stay at home, get checked out, because we don't want you to spread it to others, and we don't want you to come to school when you are not up to being here. So just be careful and think about others as if you wake up one morning and you have symptoms. If you are here at school and you're not feeling well, please let us know, and we'll help you out as far as getting you home. Let's talk about academics. Obviously, you've chosen to come to DCIT because you have an interest in one of the programs offered here. Perhaps your plans are to go to a four-year college after you graduate from high school, or perhaps it's a two-year college like Florence Darlington Tech. Maybe you're going to go into the military, or maybe your plan is just to enter the workforce. Well, we want you to leave here with the opportunity to do whatever it is that you want to do. And so two things are very important. That you work hard and are successful here in your class at DCIT, but also that your grades are good in your classes at your home school. Because if you decide after you graduate that you would like to go to a four-year college, your choices are going to be severely limited if you didn't put your best effort forward in your classes at your home school. If you want to be a completer in a program here at DCIT, you need to think about that before you start. And hopefully those of you who are here have done that, and you've spoken with your parents and your school counselors, and you've chosen a pathway that you think might lead into a career for you. But either way, we're glad that you're here, and we want you to do your best. If you want to be a completer here at DCIT, you're going to have to be successful in your level 1 class. In most cases, you have to score at least a C, which you know is a 70 or above in your level 1 class, in order to be recommended to return for the second year or level 2 class. In other programs, health science is a good example, you have to make at least an 80, which is a B. We can only serve 48 students in health science 2 and clinicals. And so this year, that put the cutoff point at about an 80. And so some students did not have the opportunity to return, even though they didn't do poorly. So you always have to do your best in order to return for the second year and hopefully become a completer here in a DCIT program. Another thing that we do here at DCIT is we try to help you earn an industry credential. If you are a completer in a program and you earn an industry credential, you are considered a career-ready graduate. And there are a number of ways to become a college or career-ready graduate. But at DCIT, we are shooting to help you become career-ready by earning a credential that will help you in your career. And your individual teachers will talk to you more about that if they have not already. But if you are a career-ready graduate, if you earn credentials, that is not only good for you, but it also helps DCIT, because part of our funding comes from your success. And so we appreciate your hard work because it helps students who come next year behind you, or the year after that, or the year after that. So we appreciate your hard work, and there's no downside to earning these industry credentials. They help you and they help us. I want to talk a little about safety, which is probably the most important thing that we will talk about during this orientation. Unlike your homeschool classes, English and math and science and social studies and others, there is a very real risk in some of your classes that you might be injured, or you could injure somebody. But that risk comes from not following the instructions that your teachers give you, not being careful. And you'll hear me say this a lot. It is very important that you are mature and responsible in order to be here. Because like I said, not only your own safety, but also the safety of your classmates and your teachers depend on your willingness and ability to follow the safety rules and information that your teachers give you. This is not the case in all classes. Some of our classes here are very much like classes at your home school. But if you are in one of the industrial classes, including graphics or digital art and design, ag, and electricity and carpentry and machine tool, there's many of them. First thing we do is safety, because it is so important that you understand how to be careful and follow the safety guidelines here. Simply put, you cannot be a student here if you're unsafe to yourself or to others. And so that is why it is the most important thing. And you have to be very, very careful that you follow these rules. We offer the OSHA 10-hour safety credential for most of our students. That is something that will go with you when you leave here. But it also helps assure us that you understand how to be safe in the workplace. And when you're here in class, this is your workplace. Let's talk a little about discipline. The discipline here at DCIT is a little different than that at your home school. Obviously, you've been in school for a lot of years and you've seen students get referrals and they get written up and they go see a principal, and they might come back a few minutes later, they might come back the next day, they might even go home for a day or two. Well, we still follow the discipline code for Darlington County School District here. But the big difference is, if discipline becomes a problem with you, then ultimately you won't be able to return to DCIT. Definitely the next year, but maybe even the remainder of this year. If your discipline causes the classroom to be unsafe, or if you're preventing others from learning, I reach out to your home school, to your administrator, and I let them know they're going to have to find something for you to do on that campus, because I can't take the risk that you're going to cause someone to be injured in an accident, or that you're going to injure someone because you don't have the self-discipline to follow our rules and procedures and be safe. So please remember, that is a big difference. I don't like to do that, but every year there's at least one or two students that I have to contact the home school and say that child is not going to be able to return here, and I don't like to do that, but I will do it for the safety of everyone else here. Another thing about discipline is we very rarely have problems such as fights that result in expulsions here at DCIT. We've only had a few over the last few years, and we hope that that will continue with your group this year. If you have a problem that you think is heading towards some type of a confrontation, please come let us know and let us help. I know that a lot of young people like to handle their own business. They think that's the mature and responsible thing to do. But when you're at school, the mature and responsible thing to do is to let us help you. Because if you let us help you and then something happens anyway, and you've already let us know that you've been threatened or there's a problem with another student, then hopefully you're going to avoid the consequences that come with that, and the other person will receive the consequences. But if you don't come let us help you, and you decide that you need to have some type of physical confrontation here, or even verbal in some cases, then chances are you're not going to be able to return. And that's a shame, because we want you to be successful here. We want you to be a completer. But for the safety of everyone here, students and adults, we're not going to allow fighting. We're not going to allow a situation to become unsafe for bystanders. So you need to make sure you let us know if you feel like there's going to be a problem, and we can help you avoid it. I want to talk about dress code a little bit. Obviously, you know that our district has a dress code, and we're going to enforce that dress code, but there are some very specific reasons that I enforce the dress code here at DCIT. Number one is safety. There are some classes here that if you're wearing baggy, loose sleeves, clothing, scarves, even an ID hanging around your neck, that's very dangerous, because the machinery that you're using, that clothing or that ID might get caught up in the machinery and you could become seriously injured. And so the first thing you need to consider when you dress for DCIT is that you're dressing for safety. The second thing is professionalism. I mentioned earlier that when you're here, this is your workplace. We want to not only teach you the skills to become great at a particular career, but we also want to teach you how to be a good employee. And part of that is knowing how to dress professionally in your job. When you go into a retail establishment, a business, an office, you expect the person that you deal with to look professional. And so we expect you to look professional as well. So I'm much less interested in the morality of something, if your shorts are an inch too short or your top is an inch too short, whatever the case may be. We might have a conversation about that, and we might even have to have you call somebody to bring you some other clothes. But it's not because I'm judging you because I don't like what you're wearing. It's because we're focusing on safety and professionalism, because you need to know that when you go out into the workplace. So while you do have to meet the standards of your home school, like I said, there are some different reasons why we focus on the dress code here at DCIT. I'm going to talk very briefly about driving to school. Ms. Burgess will have much more information about that. But I do want you to understand that if you have a license and you have a vehicle, then you do have the privilege of driving here to DCIT. The only big difference between this year and years past is that there's not going to be a cost this year for a parking decal. But you're still going to have to go through the process of getting our approval and parental approval in order for you to drive here or ride here with another student. So I'll let Ms. Burgess talk more about that, because she's going to have the specifics. I do want to mention that if you were a driver and you cut school here at DCIT, or you were consistently late to DCIT, then you will lose the privilege of driving and parking here, because it is more important for you to get here safely and on time than it is for me to allow you to drive yourself here. There are buses that run from each home school every morning and every afternoon that get you to and from DCIT from your home school. And so you don't have to worry about not making it if you're on a bus. And so as long as you want to drive here, you're going to have to show up, and you're going to have to be safe, and you're going to have to be on time. Also, we do not allow you to bring in outside meals into DCIT for a number of different reasons. One is the trash, garbage problem. Another is we're located out in the middle of a field between farms and swamp and woods, and there are critters. And I know you don't like roaches and frogs and lizards, and snakes any more than the rest of us. And so we try to prevent those creatures from joining us by not having a garbage problem here at DCIT. The other problem that you might not have thought about is that some students have food allergies and you don't know who they are or what they are. So you might bring in a meal and sit right next to someone and you're putting them at risk. And so that's another reason why we don't bring in outside meals. As long as you can get here on time, you can finish eating in your car and then you can come in. But please do not bring your meals in to eat them here at DCIT. When you come in here, you're coming to work. I will support teachers' decisions on drinking in the classroom. Hydration is very important. And so I don't mind you bringing water or a drink with you from home. We have drink machines here. The school store sells drinks. And also, if you bring a water bottle, we'll allow you to use the water fountains to refill those water bottles this year. I'll mention again later as I talk about some COVID procedures. We're not going to use the water fountains to drink from this year, but we will allow you to refill your water bottles. So do not bring in outside meals, but as long as your teacher is okay with it, and that is going to be for safety reasons and technology reasons, while they might not be if you're working at a computer workstation or something like that. But I will support teachers on allowing you to drink in class, but do not bring meals in. I mentioned that Ms. Burgess is going to talk later, and she's going to talk about the attendance policy, the tardy policy, and more information on driving and parking. I want to mention cell phones very briefly. You all know that there is a district cell phone policy, and basically what that policy is that from the time school starts until the time school ends, you're not supposed to have that phone out and using it. In your DCIT classes, there may be reasons why you need to use your phone. That reason should not be to call a friend or to text someone or play. If you are using your phone in class, it should be using it as a resource, as a tool, because you can research things, you can look up information, you can use it to take pictures, you might watch a YouTube video as you're working on a project. There are reasons why your teachers will allow you to use your phones in class. But if you are playing on it, then all that is a loss of instructional time, and then we'll treat it just like it's treated at a home school. We'll talk to a parent, we might confiscate the phone and give it back to you later. We might require a parent to come in. I don't like to ask a parent to come from Society Hill or Hartsville or Lamar all the way here just to pick up a phone. And that's for selfish reasons as well. They might not be able to get here until late in the afternoon. And it's no fun for me to wait around until 5:30 or 6 o'clock for somebody to come pick up a phone. But also, I don't approve of the loss of instructional time because you're playing with a toy. Now, your phone is a very valuable resource, but it sometimes also is a toy, and you're aware of that. And so we will abide by the the Darlington County School District cell phone policy. But understand that your freedom to use your phone depends on the fact that you can use it responsibly when you're in class and not playing. You should not need to make a phone call because your teacher has a phone in every room. If you need to call a parent, you can also come up to the main office. If you need to call a parent using your cell phone and you need to come up and ask my permission, that's fine. But if I catch you walking down the hall on your phone, I'm going to ask you immediately to end that phone call. And if you don't, well, that's going to be a discipline problem. A few other concerns I want to mention. Number one, this year especially, we need students to remain in the classroom. We do not need to have students wandering in the halls. If you need to go to the restroom, that's fine. Teachers will allow you to go to the restroom. Go and then return back to the classroom as soon as possible. But we should not see people congregating or visiting in the hallway because we do not have any breaks in the schedule this year. You should always be in class. If you're taking a break because a teacher has given you a break, then that's fine, but it should be in the classroom or, like I said, walk into the restroom and back. The end of class is either with an announcement for bus riders or a bell that ends class. So I should not see anyone leaving before the bell heading to the student parking lot or to the front of the building to be picked up. Your teachers should enforce this, but I will also enforce it. You leave when the bell rings, and that's to help us avoid having too much traffic in the hallways unnecessarily. Another thing is we need to follow proper sign-in and sign-out procedures. And what that means is there's a computer in the main office, and Ms. Brown can help you with that, where if you come to school late, you will sign in. If you are leaving early, then you will sign out. That way we always know where you are. We can properly mark your attendance. And if someone is looking for you, if we get a phone call from a parent or that you're homeschooled, we'll know if you are here or not here. I want to mention IDs. All of you will eventually have IDs if you don't already from your home school. I do appreciate the fact that you bring them with you to DCIT in case myself or Ms. Burgess or a teacher needs to see your name and what school you go to, then you can show it to us. But we do not require you to wear it around your neck or pinned to your body for the safety reasons I mentioned earlier. As long as you have it in your book bag, in your pocket, or on you in some way, then that's fine. But you do not have to wear it and display it for us to see. We should, if asked, if we ask you, you should be able to provide it for us. Now, I do want to mention a few specific things about COVID-19. I've mentioned a couple of times that we're trying to avoid traffic or excessive traffic in the hallways and gatherings. So I expect you, when you arrive here at DCIT, that you're not gathering in the parking lot, you're not gathering in the hallways, in the snack room, in your classroom, in the restrooms. Come to class. You all have a seat, a table, a workspace for you. And I'm not suggesting that you can't ever speak to your friends, but we need to avoid excessive gathering in the hallway and in class. We all know that COVID is out and around, and we want to do everything we can to keep all of you safe and all of us safe, whether you're a student or an employee. We don't want anyone getting sick. I mentioned water fountains. This year, water fountains are for refilling water bottles, not for drinking. So please do not stop and drink out of water fountains, simply because we want to do our best to keep the risk of exposure down. So if you would like to refill a water bottle, that's fine, but please do not drink out of the water fountains. Very importantly, masks are a requirement here at DCIT, whether you're a student or an adult. If you are close enough to be within 6 feet of anyone, that mask needs to be on 100% of the time. Students and adults, obviously, if you need to remove your mask very briefly, all right, if it's uncomfortable for you and you need to remove it for a few seconds or a minute, that's fine, as long as you are not within 6 feet of anyone. I've told teachers and staff this, and I'm telling you this. While you're in your seat, if you're more than 6 feet away from somebody, it's okay to remove it very briefly. But you need to get in the habit of keeping it on at all times when you're here, as is the case with everyone else, students and adults. We know that masks are a very important way to prevent the spread. And again, we're going to do our best to keep you safe. Wash your hands as often as you need to. Make sure that you wash your hands before class, after class. Use hand sanitizer. Socially distance, whether that's in the hallways, in the classrooms, in the parking lot. Just remember to be safe. And probably most importantly, stay home if you do not feel well. We will work with you on attendance. Do not come to school if you have the symptoms and you feel like you might have COVID, if you've been around someone who does. We all know that some people do not have symptoms, and you might have it, and you might spread it, and you did not even know that you had it. There's nothing you can do about that. But if you are not feeling good, if you have symptoms of COVID, don't come to school. Let me know. We will work on attendance together. All right, I don't want anyone to feel like you're going to lose credit for a class because of missing time because of COVID. These are different times, and we will work with you. But don't be reckless and come to school when you're sick because you're worried about attendance, and then other people are exposed and other people might become sick, and those people might have higher risk people living in the home with them than you do. So please think about others before you come to school when you're not feeling well. All right. I know this has been a little bit of a brief orientation. Typically when we're face-to-face, we cover a few more topics and it takes a little bit more time. If there are questions that you have, please ask your teacher. Your teacher will reach out to me with those questions, and I can respond in a number of ways. I could talk to you individually, or I could reply to an email from teachers, and your teachers can share that information with you. Like I said, you're going to hear from Ms. Burgess, our assistant director, and she's going to talk about a number of important things. And also Ms. Q is going to talk about internships. So once again, thank you for being a part of DCIT this year, and we hope you have a wonderful year. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Aurelia Burgess, Assistant Director at the Darlington County Institute of Technology. First of all, I would like to welcome you. You could have chosen to do virtual school and opt out of attending DCIT, but you didn't. You could have chosen to take only classes at your home schools, but you didn't. So we're glad to be able to work with you over the course of the next semester, or possibly even the entire year, towards furthering your career goals. As I mentioned, I'm the assistant director, aka assistant principal, and many people, when they think of that title, they think only about discipline referrals. Well, I don't want you to have a negative connotation of discipline. According to Jim Rohn, an American entrepreneur and motivational speaker, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. I want you to think of each of the administrators, the guidance counselor, the data manager, your teachers, every staff member here, the business engagement specialist, all of us are here to help you bridge that distance between your goal and your accomplishment. But we can't do that alone. We need individuals who, one, are disciplined, who are self-motivated, who are mature, who are interested in all the opportunities that DCIT has to offer. And let me tell you, there are many. Mr. Smith mentioned our decision to require face-to-face instruction for the courses at DCIT is because we felt it was essential for you to be on our campus in order for you to get the most benefit from what we teach here. So the things that we are going to emphasize are attendance, attitude, academics, punctuality, and being involved in all of the opportunities that are available. We don't expect for you to come when you're sick, but as I mentioned, attendance is essential to your success. If you find yourself having to miss days and you're going to go over the 10 days that are allowed, please make sure that you communicate with us so that we can do our best to make sure that you miss as little content as possible and that you make up any days that you need to make up. Additionally, I want to emphasize the importance of punctuality, and I will emphasize it again and again. If you miss more than 10 minutes of a single block class and more than 20 minutes of a double block class, you are considered absent for that day, for that class. Even though you are considered absent, do not just blow off coming to class. Go ahead and come. There is going to be a lot of content that is covered that you will not be able to just pick up some other time. We need you in class every day that is humanly possible. We need you in class every minute that is humanly possible. Next, I want to talk about the importance of having the right attitude. Our teachers have so much knowledge and experience in the careers that you are interested in one day being a part of. We want to make sure that we prepare you for internships that you can obtain prior to graduation. We want to prepare you for post-secondary education or for a job that you can obtain upon stepping out of our doors. But we can't prepare you if you have a bad attitude, if you're disrespectful, if you refuse to do the assignments or disobey the directives of our teachers. I've seen students make a small problem far worse by being disagreeable. Don't end up getting suspended and missing additional days of school because you refuse to give up your cell phone or take off your hat. These are such minor requests, and they're the school policy, the district policy. So don't expect for the teacher to look the other way while you break a rule and then you get an attitude about them saying something about you breaking the rule. Next, I want to discuss that a large number of our discipline referrals are just for that. There are small things that escalate when you choose to not comply or refuse to be belligerent and talk in a nasty manner for things that you should have known you were supposed to abide by. Teachers don't like it when you break rules. Administrators don't like having to punish you when you choose to break rules, and employers will fire you if they've invested their time and money in training you. They won't be happy about it, but that's exactly what will happen. They will fire you. Additionally, employers find punctuality important. Morning classes at DCIT begin at 8:55 and afternoon classes begin at 12:26. I know many of you have jobs that keep you out late. You're involved in athletics that may keep you practicing or playing a game until late in the evening, or you may have younger siblings, and rather than being late themselves, parents may ask you to drop them off at school. Little sister, brother doesn't want to get up. Or you may be an afternoon student who likes to go by home, or you think you have time to run errands or go through the drive-thru at your favorite fast food restaurant, or even sit down and have a nice leisurely lunch. We're not telling you not to do any of those things, but what we are telling you is that the time for our class is 8:55 and 12:26, and we need you here in class at that time. The building will be open 10 minutes before each of those sessions begin. So you may begin entering the building at 8:45 and 12:16 respectively, so that you have ample time to walk down the hall and make it to your class before the bell rings. That doesn't involve going to the restroom, going to the vending machine, hanging out, talking with friends. We need you, once you enter the building, to go ahead straight to your class. I also want to talk with you about driving, since we're talking about punctuality. We will not be charging you to purchase a parking permit this year. But we need for every single person who's going to be driving a vehicle to campus to complete a parking application and receive a parking permit. We need for you to include on that parking permit all individuals who will be riding with you. We need for all individuals who will be passengers to complete a passenger application. Both of these applications will be Google Forms this year. Upon receiving your application, I will verify with a parent that you indeed have permission to drive or be a passenger. And then I will make arrangements to get that parking permit to you. Our expectations for our drivers and passengers, in addition to being punctual, drivers are expected to abide by all state laws as well as district and school rules pertaining to driving a vehicle, including excessive noise. Understand that all liability for accidents or problems incurred while riding in a privately owned vehicle will be assumed by the parent and that student. Also, we really must stress, do not transport any person other than authorized passengers with a passenger application on file in your vehicle. Because, referring back to the second thing I said, all liability for accidents or problems incurred while riding in a privately owned vehicle will be assumed by the parent and the student. Understand that pursuant to state law, you consent to a search of your property in person. And also, and I really stress this one as well, you are responsible for attending all classes at the high school, unless you're a virtual academy, and DCIT. Failure to follow any of the rules I've mentioned will result in suspension or revocation of driving privileges and potentially other punishments, including detention, suspension, or, depending on the nature of the offense, recommendation for expulsion. Before I finish talking about driving to DCIT, I want to share not just our expectations, but also some practical advice that will hopefully prevent a tragedy. One, I know all humans love their cell phones, but be responsible, make wise decisions. While you're driving is not the time to be talking on your cell phones. No, I can't control whether or not you will indeed listen to what I have to say and follow my advice once you leave our campus. But I can tell you that in 1 week, we had 5 students in accidents last year. It was a very tragic, scary time for us. but many of these could have been avoided. Additionally, I also have been in an accident right at the intersection of Pinedale and 151. Not all accidents are your fault. In addition to reminding you to not be on your cell phones or playing with the controls in your car, the music or whatever the case may be, not paying attention to the friends that may be riding with you. But when the light turns green, it doesn't necessarily mean go immediately. It means take one more second to take a look to the left, a look to the right, to make sure that the individuals who just received a red light actually stop. Not all cars stop. Not all 18-wheelers stop. I was lucky. The car that hit me didn't kill me. It just total lost my car. The car that hit the 18-wheeler that hit our student last year at that same intersection didn't kill her. It just total lost her car. She and I are both here to tell the story. We may not always be that lucky. We want to be able to talk to you, not about you. On a happier, more positive note, I want to talk about a goal that I hope each of you have, and that's becoming a program completer. The main requirement for students in their quest to be recognized as a program completer is to successfully pass 4 units in all areas except business and marketing, and in some cases information technology, where you must pass 2 required courses plus 1 additional course. Passing is a very low threshold, and I hope that your goal is to more than just pass. As a matter of fact, you need to be aware that in order to be accepted into level 2 of most of our programs here at DCIT, you need to have a B average and the teacher's recommendation. In business, you can complete 2 courses each semester. To be recognized as a completer, you must select which business, marketing, or information technology path you want to complete. You must make sure you pass the 2 required courses and then select your additional course from the ones listed for that program area, but you can take them in any order as long as you pass both of the required courses and at least 1 additional recommended course for that program area. There are a multitude of reasons students should want to become a program completer. First, this is a state-recognized honor that provides documentation of a minimum number of hours completed and competencies learned in a chosen pathway. Some students earn 2 or even 3 completer certificates during their time at DCIT. So just imagine how excited businesses are when one of these students show up ready to apply for a job. Businesses are often willing to hire students straight out of high school because they know that these students are well prepared, that they've learned the competencies necessary to be successful at that job. Third, if you're going on to college, you are already familiar with much of the material in the earlier classes, which could be beneficial when it comes to your college GPA. Fourth, if you're going to Florence Darlington Tech to major in the area you completed DCIT, you may be able to articulate or skip a few of your courses, which will save money. Fifth, we have a ceremony to celebrate your accomplishments where you will receive a cord that you can wear at your high school graduation and a certificate. Program completers also have another opportunity. Many program completers are administered a state end-of-program assessment. An additional certificate is issued by the state for students who pass the end-of-program assessment for their pathway. The end-of-program assessment for automotive technology, auto collision repair, and health science are national assessments. So no matter where you go in the nation, these certifications are recognized. We have had some of our former students come back to tell us, I'm so glad I passed that end-of-program assessment. I didn't realize that I would actually get paid more for having this particular certificate. So we've made sure that we've let all future students know that some of our students have gotten anywhere from 50 cents an hour to $1.50 an hour for their certifications they got at DCIT. These are certifications they were able to get that they didn't have to pay for. In summary, if you have good attendance, the right attitude, do your best in class, and are punctual, you've started down the path to success. But I don't want you to just stop there. I urge each of you, in addition to becoming a program completer, earn all the certifications you can while you are here at DCIT. As I mentioned, the school pays for them. All you have to do is apply yourself while you're in class, learn as much as you can, and do the best you can on the day of the certification exam. We offer certification exams not only to our program completers, but there are first-year students that are also earning program certifications, industry certifications that are recognized when you go to apply for a job. Additionally, there are various student organizations that you can join. These look excellent on resumes when you get ready to apply for a job, or when you're getting ready to apply for a scholarship for college. So get involved, join student organizations, compete if you get the opportunity, earn certifications, become a program completer, and just build your resume while you are here. Long story short, DCIT provides a wide range of opportunities to prepare you for success. Your job while you're here is to take advantage of them.
Hey guys, my name is Quinetta Butterbaugh, or Miss Q as most students call me. I'm the Business Engagement Coordinator for the Darlington County School District, and my job is to get our businesses involved in educating you all and getting you ready for work. And one of the really cool things about my job is that I get to coordinate our internship program. So if you are interested in working with any of our local employers for a whole semester, getting that opportunity to get some interview experience, some pre-job skills, pre-work skills together, and really polishing yourself up, and then getting out there into the real world and working while you're still in high school, please let me know. You can come to my office. I am located by Miss Roberts here at the front of the DCIT. Also, the eligibility requirements are that you have to have okay grades. You can't be failing. You have to have no serious attendance or discipline problems. You have to have a letter of recommendation from one of your teachers, guidance counselors, or a former employer. And you have to be able to pass a employer drug screening. So if an employer asks for you to take a drug screening, you have to be able to pass that. So that's it. That's all you have to do to be eligible to apply for an internship here with the Darlington County School District's Key to Career program. So I look forward to working with you guys. There are lots and lots of opportunities moving forward, and we just want to help you as much as we can. And if you have any questions, again, come down to my office and see me. I am located next to Miss Roberts here at DCIT. And you can also email me. My name is Quinetta Butterbaugh. All right, you all have a great day and enjoy your time here at DCIT.